There is nothing more important to the U's new Department of Public Safety than the safety of me and my fellow students and the rest of the campus community.
While that has always been job number one for DPS, major improvements were required to sharpen that focus. It took restructuring, rethinking, and retraining.
The way we are doing things now is because of what we learned from what existed a few years ago when Lauren was murdered here on campus. And there were failures, and that's what our findings were, and that's what drove our recommendations.
These difficult findings required DPS to make a fundamental change.
In the past, with victims of crime, we've kind of focused our attention on getting the cases prepared for court. What we've done is we've kind of switched that around. We've actually put the victims at the center of our investigation.
We don't want them to have to relive what they went through. All of our detectives are trained on trauma-informed interviewing, and they are trained on the signs of trauma, the impact that trauma has on somebody, and how to recognize those signs in a victim.
Now, victims of crime are never left alone through the legal process. They have a victim advocate to stand by them.
Our department has become very trauma-informed and victim-centered. So our concentration is on what the victim wants and what the victim needs. Now we have someone that can stand by them, sit with them, help them through that process, and then if their case goes to court, can sit with them in court and support them through the criminal justice system.
New training procedures were put in place that zero in on the kinds of situations that can arise on campus.
We're very fortunate to get the amount of training that the university provides for us, like the interpersonal violence training, stalking training, domestic violence training. When they do come up on campus, they're very important that we handle these cases right and having them victims in mind.
One of the big changes to DPS is the goal to substantially increase the number of female officers to better relate to students. Well, like me.
Here at the University of Utah, what we've tried to implement is 30% of our police officers be female by the year 2030. Here on campus, a lot of the cases that we have, they involve female victims. And having a female be the first person to come take a report with them, having a female detective, it's actually been something that we have shown success in.
They have what we call a soft area, but it's really just a comfortable space for people who have experienced trauma to have to share that information. It's very hard, but this makes it easier.
Part of improving is always getting feedback and being held accountable for actions, both bad and good.
From the Guardian tracking software system, we have a professional standards department, and we can conduct those investigations using the Guardian tracking system for complaints and compliments, and then take care of those problems before they become a bigger problem. But we can also recognize officers for going above and beyond.
Making campus safer was a core goal of new university president Taylor Randall. Having closer lines of communication to DPS was central.
One of the best things about what we're doing and the support that we have is that when the university created the chief safety officer's position, they made it a part of the president's cabinet. The process of getting us to where we're at today and where we're going with this department really is driven by leadership of the university and investment into public safety. That can be seen in many ways. One of the recommendations we made was a new building, not just to have a new building, but to be able to design it in a way that it can effectively serve our university community.
Dispatch, they are a vital unit to the police department. Without them, we wouldn't be able to find out what's going on. They are the ones who kind of quarterback everything here with DPS.
The design of the building, the dispatch center is state-of-the-art.
The new building is a vital new addition to DPS, but what goes on inside that building and how its officers and team work is also vital and under independent review.
So the Independent Review Committee, which is the IRC, is comprised of faculty, staff, and students. And it's a committee that basically reviews all of our complaints. It is comprised of people independent from the Department of Public Safety. It shows that we're transparent.
I believe in transparency. There's hard questions and there's hard answers, but there's always an answer.
It takes a certain kind of person to be a part of DPS. Dedicated, community-minded, caring, responsive. And as DPS has refilled its ranks, the hiring process has been extremely thorough.
Over the last 3 years, this department, it has turned over significantly. We are doing investigations right. I think all police officers come into this profession and they want to help, do better. And so I think that was my main goal in becoming a police officer.
Getting feedback from students, faculty, and staff is one of the key measures for us to be able to be transparent, understand where we can get better. We would encourage anybody to take those avenues to connect with us, to let us know what your concerns are and where we can be helpful.
The best part right now is the fact that everybody's coming together and as one team. So we've been able to restructure this department so that instead of just having a police department doing their thing, a security division doing theirs, emergency management covering their functions, we're all together under the umbrella of the Department of Public Safety. And
It is the bringing together of all these functions and resources under one roof that has affected positive change.
And helps to make campus a safer place for all of us.